Hi and welcome to this video. In this video, I'm going to walk you through if you're sitting right now and having some doubts and some thoughts about whether you should start your own business or not. The thought process that went into me taking my own personal decision when I had to start out, but also the thoughts that you might be sitting with right now. And I also just wanted to clarify in this video that these thoughts are very normal, as I've mentioned in all of my videos up until now, that I have had these same thoughts, and you're gonna hear this in this video as well. And I just want to say to you that this is the most normal thing in the world. Nobody have ever taught you what it is to run an online business and how to run an online business. So this is completely new to you, and new things are very scary. So in this video, I'm just going to walk you through my own personal story and clarify some of the objections and some of the things that might be going on in your head right now. So 12 months ago, I was stuck working at a job that I hated. It was a phone cold calling job where I had to dial people and basically sell to them over the phone. So I had some experience in selling to people, and I knew what it was like to be on a sales call and be in this kind of uncomfortable state of pitching something to someone that had to transfer you money. But again, I was paid a minimum wage, and every time I had to do something that didn't include work, I had to ask my boss to go and get off work to do these things, even though it was a birthday, maybe it was a funeral, maybe it could be whatever, family gathering, but it was not really about the occasion that I was missing. It was more so about the thought that I had to ask someone to do something that didn't include work. I wanted to be in charge of those things myself, and I wanted to do that and be independent in that area and not had anyone that was in charge of taking those decisions for me, but I wanted to take those decisions for myself. I think we all know the feeling of being that friend that had to say no to things because you had to work and you couldn't get off work. It was a feeling that was annoying me day in and day out. I was so frustrated about it, and I was so annoyed every single time that these things occurred and these things happened. And for me, that was very often because I worked full-time. Even though you might be studying right now, you might be working full-time, but these things were something that was really annoying me a lot. I couldn't forget it. It made me demotivated, it made me sad, it made me annoyed. It just made me overall really frustrated because I couldn't see myself being in that situation for the long run, and I knew I had to do something else. I knew I had to change my situation, but I didn't know what I had to change it to. And that was the hardest part for me personally, because I knew I wanted something differently, but at that time I didn't really know what that different was. And the list is long, but these were just some of the things because I was desperately looking for a place where I could earn what I was worth, not sit at the same chair every single day from 9 to 5 working. And I just wanted to be at a workplace where I felt like the people that I was working with and I was delivering a service for really made an impact and made a difference, where they really appreciated my effort. And maybe this is something that you can recognize from your own day-to-day, even though you're maybe studying or working, or maybe you're doing something else, but maybe you can recognize this a little bit, because I know how common it is. I speak with girls every single day that have these issues and are in these situations. So I really understand the frustration, and I understand your situation, even though it's one or the other, because I've been in them. And my job is basically to help girls like you out there to overcome these things and to start something where you're looking forward to it every single day when you wake up. Because maybe the days are just feeling more and more like the same, and you're sitting and just staring at the clock, but every time you look, it feels like there's been going 2 hours by and it has only been a couple minutes. And this is gonna sound really cliche, but you maybe feel like you are working to live and not living to work, which is really where the joy comes from most people, is where you can flip the situation and actually start doing something and working towards something that you love. And it's just the same number every single month that goes into your bank account. Maybe it's from your work, maybe it's from a side hustle, maybe it's a little bit here, a little bit there, but it's more so the same that goes into your bank account every single month. and you have the same expenses, you have the same things that you have to pay for, you have the same things that you want to save up for, but the bank account isn't really moving in the right direction. It's just there. The number aren't really going down, but it's not going up either. But even though that you know that it's the same amount that goes into your bank account every single month, you're still a tiny bit nervous deep down in your stomach every time you have to open up your bank account to check how much money do I actually have this month. Do I have enough money to go to that birthday party and buy my best friend a really nice gift this month? Or do I have to say no because the bank account doesn't really allow it this month? And maybe if you choose that you can go to these things, you have to dig into your savings one more time, just like you did last month, because again, it's the exact same amount that goes into your bank account, because you don't get paid for the value you provide, you get paid for the hours that you're present. This was at least how I felt, and it was not nice, it was not comfortable, it was just an odd feeling that I couldn't really explain, because it felt weird, but I was also just like, this is how it is, I can't really change it. Everybody else is in the exact same situation, and this is how it is to have a job, and this is how it is to get paid the same every single month. I can't really change it. And if this is one of the feelings that you're sitting with right now, I just want to tell you it's actually possible to change it, but we're going to get into that a bit later in this video. But just to give you a quick personal side of things, this was what I experienced, and I was tired of my everyday life, and I was tired of my situation. I wasn't just tired, I was drained. I couldn't do it anymore. I was so desperately looking for a different route and a different way, but instead of actually looking and actively doing something to search for a better way for myself, I just sat there and hoped for a magic opportunity from God to fall into my lap and present itself. And surprise, surprise, that didn't happen. But what did happen was a random Tuesday. I remember I was sitting in my couch in my living room with my family and scrolling Instagram reels like I did every single day when I got home from work, and I stumbled upon an ad from this guy, and it was a Danish guy, and I think I've told this story before, but something about this ad really resonated with me, because he told me that I could make money online from an online business, selling my solutions to clients that I had to work with. It sounded so fluffy, and it sounded so weird to me. I didn't really believe it. But even though I didn't believe it, there was still something in me that intrigued me so much and really made me want to hear more. I was so interested in hearing more about this thing that he was telling me online. And even though I was very, very curious to hear more, I was also very, very skeptical, because you see so many people online and you hear so much about people selling a course, people doing this, people doing that, and I was skeptical, and you have to be skeptical as well, because it isn't everybody out there that has the best intentions with selling something to you. There is a lot of scam out there, so I also just want to say to you that if you're skeptical, it's not a sign that you don't have to do it. It's a good sign that you're actually just protecting yourself and your own beliefs and your thought processes. So it's completely normal to be skeptical, but you can still take a decision for yourself and choose to change your situation for the better, even though you're skeptical. Because I'm telling you this because that was how I felt myself. Because this guy was telling me that I could make more than usual parents do and usual adults do that has degrees. I could, as a 19-year-old girl, as I was at that time, make more than people like that, which was kind of too good to be true in my opinion. But again, what did I know? I was just working at a sales job, didn't really know too much about business, so I chose to just listen to this guy because he knew more than I did. So I sent him a text because I was so curious, and they replied to that text, of course, because they wanted to sell me something, and I was really also wanting to buy their service because I was so intrigued and I really wanted to hear more about this. So I booked a call with this team, and after the first call, I booked a second call, I booked a third call, I booked a fourth call, and on the fifth and final call, Again, I was skeptical. I needed 5 calls. I needed to think about it. But if I look back, I could have taken a decision on the first call because I knew that this was the right thing to do for me. But I was skeptical, so I needed those 5 calls, and that was also okay. But at the final and the 5th call, I ended up buying this course. And it was a course that taught me the exact same as I'm doing now. It taught me how to run an online marketing agency, just like I'm running now. And if you're sitting right now and thinking that, oh, she's probably just making all her money on selling her course, that's not really the reality, because yes, I do have a course where I teach other girls to do these things, but I also still run my marketing agency, and I still have clients where I do marketing services for them, because I believe that that's what you have to do in order to teach in the best way possible. I can't teach how to run a marketing agency if I'm not running one myself. So I'm still running my marketing agency together with me also having a course. But if we just have to jump back into what we were talking about before, I was being told this by this guy, and I still, after I purchased this, thought it was a scam. But there was just something in me that was 100% sure that I couldn't stay in the situation I was in before, because I knew that if I wanted a different outcome, I also had to have a different input to achieve that different outcome. And that didn't just happen overnight or happen by itself. I had to take action, and I had to do something actively to change my situation. So I did, and I was very happy that I did. And the first month, I was so excited. I was ready to just do whatever it took for me to get results, and I did everything, but I saw nothing. The first month, no results. The second month, no results. The third month, still no results, but there was something differently that also happened in the third month. I booked a lot of calls because all the work from the first month and the second month and the third month had now compounded into the third month, which got me a lot of meetings that was people and leads interested in buying my service. And I took these calls, and I actually also ended up closing them. So this is just to be transparent with you and also say that I didn't see results instantly. My girls in my community and my students doesn't see results instantly. It requires a lot of work, and it requires that you're willing to put in the work every single day for a long enough period of time in order for your results to actually show. You have to be patient, and you have to show up for yourself and your business every single day. It doesn't come overnight, and it doesn't come easily. It comes from you really, really, really putting in the work every single day. And I say this to all of my students, that it isn't just going to come overnight. My results didn't come overnight. My students' results aren't coming overnight, but they're working hard towards it because they know why they're doing it. I knew why I was doing it myself. I didn't want to go back to the work I had before. I knew that I had to make the biggest effort in making this work in order for me to not be able to go back to the job. I set myself a realistic time frame and a realistic goal. As I mentioned in this video, it's about my story. It's a bit more broken down than this video is, but this video was basically just to clarify to you, if you have these things and you have these thoughts in your mind that's holding you back from taking a decision, because your limiting beliefs about whether you can succeed or not, it's not going to stop you from taking a decision. You have to work with those beliefs instead of you working against those beliefs, because if you do that, you're never going to take a decision for yourself. And if it hadn't been for the guy that I was on a call with, I would have never taken a decision, because I would have never been pushed in the best way possible to take a decision for myself. But I'm so happy that he pushed me to invest those 5K, even though it was almost all the money that I had at that time. I'm really happy that he pushed me to do it in a good way, because if he hadn't done that, I would have never been here where I am now. I live in Dubai, I run this business full time, and I love what I do. I help girls achieve the exact same results as I have achieved myself. So one advice to all of you out there sitting there right now is to please sit down with yourself and ask yourself, what is it that's actually holding you back? Is it that you're afraid of failing, or afraid that it's not going to work, afraid that you're going to get scammed, afraid of this and that? Sit yourself down and ask yourself these things, because you will never be good at the first thing that you're going to try. When you were riding a bike for the first time in your life, you fell a couple times. You fell and your elbow hurt and your knee was hurting and you were bleeding, and it wasn't nice. Like, you were crying and saying to your mom and dad, I'm never gonna do this again. I'm never gonna get on that bike again. But you did, and you did it again and again and again and again. And look at you now. I promise you that you can probably bike very, very good now. So it's the exact same here. Even though you can't really see physical progress, you can see progress in here, and you can also see progress in your business and in your personal life and in your mindset. So do yourself the favor and sit yourself down and ask yourself what is actually holding you back from investing in becoming a better version of yourself and actually moving yourself towards the situation you really want to be in. Ask yourself these things and let me know if you have any questions regarding anything like this. I'm more than happy to help you out. I hope you found this video helpful. It was both a bit of my personal story, but also a bit more about the objections and the things that you might be sitting with right now and dealing with in terms of taking a decision or not. So I hope you found this helpful. If you have any questions, leave it in the comments or feel free to reach out to me on Instagram, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care until. Bye.